Hello, dear guests. Hello, dear guests. Welcome to the online MediaTech workshop organized by Roventures. Our workshops offer startups a chance to gain valuable insights from industry experts. And if you are new to our event, let us introduce ourselves. Roventures is a dynamic investment company with European roots and decades of experience. Our mission is to support the global ecosystem of MediaTech startups, especially in times when almost everything surrounding us is media. My name is Anastasia, and I'm excited to be your host for the next 45 minutes. And now let me introduce the star of the hour, Dina Mustavaya. She's an award-winning global cultural and business strategist with over 15 years of experience. She's the founder of Madrid-based Mindset Consulting that helps tech companies and venture funds with strategic communications in the USA and Europe. She was named the best woman in public relations by the Davos Communication Award 22 and the grand prize winner and PR star under 40 by the 2023 Bulldog PR Awards. Welcome, Dina. Happy to have you here.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. Should I start with my presentation, yeah?
Yeah, just a few more details. Next 30 minutes will be dedicated to Dina's speech, and then 50 minutes for Q&A. Participants for our Discord community, you can ask your questions directly via Zoom. Just raise your hands and have your camera on. Guests watching us on YouTube can also ask questions through the chat. Please be aware that this workshop is being recorded and will be shared with our Discord MediaTech community. You can find the link to the community in the pinned message on YouTube. Dina, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me share the presentation. Okay, so you can see it, correct?
Yep.
Perfect. Yep. So let me do like this. Yeah, this should be good. So today I'll tell you how PR can help with fundraising. And first, 2 words about me, some more words. So I'm the founder of Mindset Consulting, as Anastasia already told you. And we are an international PR agency. We are based in Madrid. And we are a team of 16 people working from different countries, from different cities as well, like London, Tel Aviv, San Diego, Madrid, and Barcelona as well. And we work with tech startups and VC funds, and our main focus working across Europe and America. And usually our clients are on seed or like A/B rounds. And important to say that we are like award-winning agency, and we are an international partner of Tech Barcelona. We are very proud of it. And here is the agenda of our workshop today. So I'll tell you why does a startup need PR and things you need to start doing your communications. So I also tell you the tools and formats to use for fundraising, what to talk about in the media with the journalists as well, how to use LinkedIn, and some rules to communicate with the journalists. And I also tell you some tips of communications. So nowadays, and especially this year, entrepreneur looks like a Shiva, you know. You think about traffic, leads, metrics, sales, and so on. But I think that you do not should think about PR and communications. And you could think that you don't need PR, but it's totally the opposite, of course. I just want to tell you that PR professional should work on your reputation, awareness, and your PR on the market. So why does a startup need PR? So of course, the first and the most important for every project and company, it is the brand awareness. And of course, you have to pop up in Google, because someone, if they're looking your company on Google, in Google, so they need to find at least some interviews, I don't know, like publications, or at least testimonials. So that's why to pop up in Google, it's really important for a company. Even if you're like a big company or already on B round, for example, you have to work on your reputation and positioning and your, let's say, key messages as well. So how people perceive your company, perceive your brand and your product, for example. And of course, trust and loyalty and loyal community of your users or clients and journalists as well. So working on your PR and external communications is important to attract the attention of investors and partners as well. And of course, mostly entrepreneurs think about how to attract talent. So, oh, sorry, let me close my Telegram. Yes, let me be back. Okay. Okay, I'm here again. So yes, and you usually entrepreneurs think how to attract talent to the company and work on their HR brand as well. So I'll tell you some cases, and we work with different entrepreneurs across Europe and America, and of course we have some success stories. And for example, working with Carolina, she's a Berlin-based entrepreneur doing and selling solar panels, balcony solar panels. So when I ask you, how did PR help you and your company? So she said that we sold out within a matter of weeks their balcony panels, and they received several commercial proposals, and more than 20 investors contacted her about investing. So we see that interviews and publications and use, for example, on TechRush or the Next Web, these can help you to do B2B sales and to attract investors. Or, for example, David, the company Cnomi, so we help them with their communications as well, and they got some publications as well, like in top American media, like VentureBeat or TechCrunch as well. And he said that TechCrunch resulted, the publication use in TechCrunch resulted in wide coverage in other media, and they got some inbound interest and some partners contacted him as well. So you see, you can do like different formats, but I'm gonna tell you about it a bit later. So the most important things you need to start doing your PR, of course, to set up a business goal. Maybe you want to launch your product, or maybe you want to scale your business and enter new markets. Maybe you need to hire like some talent as well. So this is the most important. First, you need to set up a business goal. And then, of course, you should think whether you will hire an in-house PR manager or like boutique agency, a big agency, will help you with compelling and development of your strategy and storytelling. Storytelling is the most important because that's how you will tell about your company and product, first to the journalists and then to your target audience, of course. So creating websites, social media channels, and of course press kit. This will help you to tell about the product with the key messages that you want to use in the information field. And of course, perception of your product should be, written in storytelling as well, in the strategy as well. So to define spokespeople, usually if you're like a small startup, I don't know, with 20 people in your team or even less, usually we suggest to define like one or maximum two speakers, spokespeople from your company. And of course, it should be like different expertise from each of them. Before pitching media, we provide media training. We have to understand that journalists and media, they have their rules. And of course, we should know these rules. And last but not least, I would say, communication policy. You should align with your team on what you say to the media and what you don't say. So that's why communication policy in your company is really important. For example, you won't speak about your competitors, or for example, you will not reveal your, I don't know, like revenue, for example. So this is the most important. Sometimes, you know, entrepreneurs don't want to disclose their angel investors. So this policy helps us, like, you know, PR professionals, communicate with the media as well. Yes, so usually we got, you know, like a really great client brief, but unfortunately a small budget. So this meme, you know, shows the reality, sometimes the reality of working in the PR agency. So communication tools and formats, as I already told you, that we'll speak about it later. Of course, the most, you know, common thing is news and any announcements, for example, appointments. If, for example, you are lucky to get, I don't know, like X CEO of, you know, like big corporation to your startup, of course, there is this is a news, a really good one. Then you could share your expertise and write op-eds and columns. You can be a contributor at Forbes, Entrepreneur Media, and other as well. For example, top media like, I don't know, Financial Times and Bloomberg, they publish contributor op-eds as well. So you can give interviews. You should think about podcasts. This format is one of my beloved, honestly. Of course, share information on social media and don't forget about Twitter as well, because usually nowadays everyone make posts on LinkedIn, but Twitter and, for example, Instagram or the platform Quora is really nice as well. So formats, newsjacking is when you comment and give some quotes to journalists who publish recently news. And you can do, I don't know, you can share your thoughts and insight on blog and Medium. Of course, give a speech at any conferences, like tech conferences, events as well. Awards is a really nice, because, you know, awards give you some great awareness in professional community. And newsletters, they're on the rise, I don't know, right now, and even past I don't know, like 3-4 years. And newsletters are a great tool to tell your news, your company news, I don't know, some insights as well. So usually we do for our clients quarterly newsletters, but you can do monthly as well. So it can be, you know, a problem. So here are just some of the examples of the media who publish news. For example, TechCrunch, Insider, and, you know, you can see headlines. You can use different formats. And expert op-eds, Quartz, Entrepreneur, as I already told you, Crunchbase, they still accept op-eds and columns. And interviews. Interviews for entrepreneurs is the most, you know, like beloved format, because you can tell about your product, your idea, your I don't know, market you work on, and you see that a lot of media, they publish interviews like the Next Web, Fast Company, EU Startup. So just to pitch the idea, to pitch, you know, the right angle, and you can get a call, you know, with the journalist. And more like, let's say, informal format is a podcast. And, you know, the nice thing about podcast that usually host, they do a record of your conversation, and then they publish it on YouTube. So that's why you can get, like, you know, a link to podcast, and at the same time you can get a video. So on the video, usually we can see, you know, how a speaker tells about his product, you know, using speaking English. And for usually for a journalist, this is important to see speaker before the call, for example, with him. So newsletters, as already told you. This is our, like recently achievement, I would say. Bullet Pitch is a really effective newsletter. I know that after the webinar, you will get my presentation, and you can contact organizers or me directly, and I can share the email of the author of this newsletter. So we pitched our client Nitsi. It is an AI-powered app to transform smartphone into tool for muscle spleen diagnosis. So after publishing this newsletter, the founder, he got inbound requests from investors. As I remember, he told me like it was 5 or 7 investors who emailed him, and he was invited to participate in the startup show, The Pitch, so he can get like more money at the show as well. So yes, once again, I can share the email, because if you're raising money right now, so you can pitch, and the author will publish it. You will get like a phone call with him, like, I don't know, 20 minutes, and then you will see this story. So what to talk about, and the most important thing, so why, and I'll tell you. So new product, market launch, I don't know, market trends, problems, regulations, across Europe, it's a hot topic right now. Global vision, updates, any, like expertise. And of course, you have to remember why this media, because you have to think about your audience. Why this topic? Why this topic should be important and useful to this media in their audience? Why now? Because relevant time is really important as well. And why you? Why this journalist should be interested in your product, in your company, and your brand as well. So before pitching media, think about this for why. So I think that it may be surprising, but not only media can give you, let's say, awareness and attention from investors. So 23% of European investors rated LinkedIn above the Financial Times, Twitter, and even Bloomberg, because Bloomberg for me is like top of the top, for in-depth learning. So what does it mean? You can use a LinkedIn for your fundraising. So for example, here we see a post from Darren. He made this post some months ago, and he said that he reached via LinkedIn to investors, and after 3 months he got at least 50 calls with them. So it means LinkedIn really works. So what to do on LinkedIn then? Follow investors, comment their posts, then post your stories, insights, I don't know, thoughts and updates as well. And remember about golden hour. What does it mean, golden hour? When you make a post on LinkedIn, algorithm let's say work on your post 1 hour. So you can, the more impression you get within this 1 hour, the more people will see your post after this 1 hour. So then send direct messages. Usually, don't be afraid to send direct messages to any of investors and, I don't know, even journalists, for example. Join groups, comment, and again initiate a direct conversation. So that's how it works on LinkedIn. And I have like many cases. And for example, this case from Darren can show you the results. So some rules. Yes, about this screenshot a bit later. So relevance, politeness, yes. Never be rude with the journalist, never. Because a journalist, they will publish everything you I don't know, you texted them, you said them, I don't know. So and even on Twitter. Sometimes they, they highlight the name and they just make a post and, without even thinking sometimes. So be polite with them. give detailed answer. So it means don't say like we are successful. Say in numbers using, you know, some cases, for example. Yes, patience, because for example, you can pitch the media, I don't know, in September, and then you can get a publication in December. That's totally okay because you're not alone. You know, I think in our world, like thousands of startups, you know, want to be published in TechCrunch, Financial Times, and so on. Respond fast. Usually you have, if for example, a journalist asks your quote, usually you have maximum 40 minutes to give your quote. Of the record rule. So everything you say to a journalist can be published. So it means if you don't want to disclose your name or, for example, this information, but you want to share, this totally okay. You know, journalists should understand, I don't know, your way of thinking, for example, or the situation. So you just need to say, this I would say off the record. And then you can tell, you know, anything. Then you should reveal data and numbers. I don't know, like investments, revenue, or at least year-to-year growth, for example. Yes, you can give just a percentage. And avoid advertising. What does it mean? Like, don't say we are the best. We are like, you know, almost a unicorn and so on. Give like specific numbers, again, cases, I don't know, partnerships, reveal, I don't know, your investors' names, for example. And once again, the most important to remember is that everything that came out publicly, I mean, social media, if you made a post on LinkedIn or Twitter and the journalist saw it, it can be published. They have all the rights to publish it. And this screenshot is really nice. You know, it was really it was a great discussion on social media exactly about this post. So Eleanor, she a journalist, so she posted these thoughts about entrepreneurs and founders who do not work with PR agency or PR professionals. So it was, you know, like nice to hear for us. So yes, and sometimes, you know, we can give media training, we can, you know, help you to tell your story and so on. We can prepare, but unfortunately, this is our face when the speaker answers questions differently what was prepared during the interview and during the call, you know. So some tips. Communications should be strategic. This is very, very important. You must act now to achieve the goal a year down the road. For example, in 1 year, you're going to start fundraise. So it means now you should start working on your brand awareness, loyalty, trust. I don't know, at least having some conversations with funds. Media is your voice. It means you should speak and you can speak about market problems. Social media sharing, it means if you get a publication from a journalist in any media, it shouldn't be, you know, like top media, but any niche media as well. Share and say thank you. Tag this journalist. They really like it, and they will be grateful, you know. So exactly 45 minutes. If you have any questions, I'm ready to tell you, to answer.
Thank you, Dina. It was awesome, very useful and specific tips and insights. And
Thank you.
I will remind our visitors, our viewers, that if you want to ask your question and you're watching us in Zoom, you're from Discord community, just raise your hands and have your camera on, and we're happy to let you into our conversation. If you're watching us via YouTube, just type your question and I'll bring it to Dina. And I was personally surprised by your statistic on LinkedIn. Do you think traditional media are dying?
No, of course not. You know, when you publish, people will always read traditional media because it's like of course it's a tradition from even I don't know 16th century I would say. So that's why social media works they work very very fast. So that's why sharing news and any updates on social media, LinkedIn, Twitter can give you an opportunity to share your news very fast. And the question is about your target media. For example, you can get followers or connections on LinkedIn, and it will be only entrepreneurs, for example, or only investors. So that's why media is about, let's say, coverage, and social media is about target coverage. So that's why we will work with media, always. And in PI, usually there is a conversation among PR professionals and journalists as well. Will, for example, press release die? And I don't know, like dozens of years people discuss it, and we still have requests from a journalist. Okay, can you please send the press release? So yes.
Yeah, or emails. Emails are dying like last 20 years or so.
yeah, the same. So yes, still works.
As you're very aware, startups quite often struggle with budget. So what are your recommendations with companies who have limited budget to maximize their PR impact for fundraising purposes?
So important to say that I told you about interviews, podcasts, and so on. And of course, you never pay for this, never pay. So classic PR is about relations with journalists, warm relations and connections. So that's why we pitch the media, let's say manually, and we never pay for anything. So that's why we have at least, like 10 or even 20 formats and tools for free that you can use for free. So for example, posting on LinkedIn, Medium blog, it is free as well. Posting, for example, op-eds in the media, this is for free as well. You don't have to pay. So pitching podcast, you never pay as well. So if you're a startup, like early stage startup, and you don't have a budget to attract, for example, PR agency, I don't know, working with you. So then you need just a copywriter, I would say, that can give you, some text and publish it. So you need time, your own time, and then you need a person who will help you to write some text. So I would say like this: a lot of formats formats and tools you can use without any budget.
Yeah, and nowadays you can always use ChatGPT. Right? If you know how to use it, it's very, very helpful tool. But
you should be, Anastasia, you should be, let's say, aware of writing some text to the media, because journalists, they of course will never accept a text that was written by ChatGPT. Of course, social media is totally okay, but not in the media.
Just wait for a few more years. And you would never know who actually was it, the person who wrote this text or AI tool. Marie is asking, for early stage company, what budget should they have for PR?
I would say minimum is 3,000 euros. Okay, I would say it's minimum. Yes, this budget is across European agencies. I just know the market.
Right. We have some questions from our viewers. One more from Marie, and then I'll ask you questions that I got in YouTube. How can you evaluate the performance of PR agency? What are the effective metrics so that you can analyze the budget? Yeah, it's a very good question. I had it in mind as well.
Yeah, as well. Good question. Recently I wrote like a column, let's say, forget about ROI in PR, because usually, yes, entrepreneurs, they ask like, any sales, can you help me, to drive sales, for example, or can I get, like some more users or something like this? Of course, there are, let's say, quantity and quality KPIs that we can provide to a client, and of course, the most important is to I don't know, be published in top media. So, and the most beloved format is interview, of course. But yes, usually we can provide, like the number of publications, the amount of publications, the media coverage, and we can work with the top of the top, for example. We can speak, about the number of posts that we can make for your LinkedIn, for example. We create a strategy, storytelling, and so on. But and we can help to drive website traffic, for example, because sometimes journalists they're totally okay to publish active link to your website, and this really helps. But sometimes, of course, they usually say like, this is an advertisement, and of course you have to pay for it. So some of them, like in 20% of all publications, you can get active link, but 80% they will say like, go to our advertisement team. So yes, unfortunately we can't say that we can help you to, I don't know, to do sales, for example. This is about marketing, not about PR. But at the same time, we are sure that your reputation and your perception of your company and product on the market will be the right one. And you will get inbound requests from journalists, because the more publication, the more news, the more information you share with the media, the more attention and inbound requests you get. So that's why you will create, let's say, like a loyal pool of journalists, and at the same time you build like awareness and attracting attention from investors, and sure you will close your fund using only PR. This work like this.
There is an opinion that PR is more long-term strategy. It's not like, okay, I'm gonna do it just this month and then I drop it. It's you need to do it to have like stable results, at least a few months, half a year. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, of course. As I already said, that communication should be strategic. This is really important. Yes, and of course you have to work, not like PR is it's like a sport. If you do sport, you feel good. Then when you stop doing it, you feel like not really good. So PR, the same thing. You should do like long-term connections and relations with journalists, with investors, and so on. I know many stories when, for example, entrepreneur reached the venture fund. He didn't get any money, but for example, in 1 year or even 2 years, they for example led the round. So that's why and I asked that guy, how did you do that, and what helped you, and he said like, I constantly was using my news and like client cases, and I send these updates to investors. I posted on LinkedIn and so on. He said that I was like on information field all the time, so that's why they saw my results. So that's why they agreed to lead the round.
More questions from YouTube. Do you use specific subject lines for journalists to get attention and teach level?
Yeah, of course. We have, at least like 50 or even 100, of catchy, let's say, headlines, and email topic that help us to open email, by a journalist. Yeah, of course. For example, sometimes you can use, very, let's say, famous names. I don't know. So I remember one. Let me remember. It was like an educational course is the same price like Netflix annual membership. So I remember the open rate of this email was really high, but we didn't get any any publications that time because of course it was Netflix, but we told to a journalist about educational course only. But yes, using some famous names like I don't know. Jeff Bezos or I don't know Elon Musk or Netflix or Google blah blah, or of course at the same time you can say for example this early stage startup fight like big corporation with like solving this market problem, for example. Or yesterday I saw a great headline like AI has some problems with trust, and this early stage startup, work on it. So, or says that they can fix it, something like this. So yes, we have some. Yes, I can share as well. After the this webinar.
Yeah, yes, please. I believe that it would be very, very useful. One more question. What are some innovative PR tools and techniques that startups can use to stand out to investors?
Innovative. Good question. I wouldn't say something. We have something, innovative. I think that if the question is about how to attract investors' attention, yes, to startups. So what new tools we can use? I would say if you have a small budget, I don't know, at least 1,000 euro. Do like a private dinner. Do like a small brunch. I would say meet them in person. This is the most important because statistics shows that entrepreneurs who meet their potential investors and who try to fundraise via Zoom, for example. Of course, the first entrepreneur will raise money like very fast. So that's why I would say nothing innovative, but if you are able to spend some money for like brunch or a meeting and so on, I would do like meeting event, something like this.
Old ways still work.
Yeah, that's for sure. Meetings, in-person relation works always. Yes.
How important is the role of storytelling in PR for fundraising, and what are the key elements for a compelling story? I'm asking you also to announce our next workshop in February the 7th, led by our Chief Strategy Officer, David Rose. The topic is pitching, innovating constraints on storytelling. But I believe you also have your professional opinion on that matter.
Yeah, storytelling is important to say why and when did you, let's say, understood that this is your passion? Because usually entrepreneurs, they start their own company, because of two reasons. First reason, they see a market problem and they have an idea how they can solve it. And the second reason, they have, let's say, a gap on the market and they understand how they can fix it as well. So that's why, fix it and not like as a problem, but let me explain correctly. But for example, they see this gap, let's say market demand, for example, and they know what product they can suggest, for example, to this audience. So that's why, for example, if you're doing, I don't know, biotech or health tech, or I don't know, I wouldn't say AI right now, I'm so sorry, but I don't know. Let's say biotech, for example. I assume that when you were like 10 years old, you were interested in biologic, or for example, you were interested in, I don't know, like health industry in general. So that's why I tell the story from the beginning. The one more point is important is to tell to a journalist and to an audience when was that moment when this idea came up to you. So for example, it was in your dream, or you were speaking with your, I don't know, life coach, and you got this idea. Or for example, you were in the mountains, walking with your friends, and the idea came up to you. This is the most important. You have to tell about this exact moment. And third thing is really important is when you tell not only about your journey you're doing right now, but the future you want to come to. It should be like a story of the future and changes that you can bring to this world. So that's why this let's say points in storytelling is important as well. And of course, don't forget about social presence, let's say, how you can help, like the world itself and people, not selling this product, but how you can, help them to live better life, or to, I don't know, to fix some problems with your
Social
product.
impact.
Yeah, this is really important as well. Yes.
And I think we didn't talk about that much, but I believe that it's important point, that even big brands, they use influencers for a reason, because nowadays everything that's going through a personal brand is more efficient. Would you recommend to develop a personal brand for founder?
Yeah, of course. Usually people say people buy people, or people work with people. So that's why personal brand is on the rise, like last 10 years, maybe 7 years, honestly. So yes, of course. I never seen the stories and success stories when, for example, brands channel, social media, I don't know, like Instagram profile, or for example LinkedIn profile will get like more followers than founder, for example. This is the most important. People want to follow the certain person, because certain person, can explain not only the idea, but for example, company's value, brand's culture. This DNA is really important. And of course, people usually they have emotions and feelings, and unfortunately brand, even if you, for example, using your during your strategy, your business strategy, and you focus, for example, on 4D branding. There is a really nice chart to define your brand's value, positioning, and so on. But at the same time, you never can bring like emotions from the brand at the same time, how you can do it from a certain person. So that's why personal branding is really important. And of course, people want to work with the same people. You can share your hobby, for example, sport that you do, I don't know, your passion. You can for example, I know a story that one founder, female founder from London, she got her first angel round from an investor with whom they discussed not her startup and her idea, but it was art. So you see, and she said like it was so, like deep connection between us, because we're really passionate about art. So that's why he said like, I trust you. I give you, this first angel round. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Dina. It was a pleasure to have you here. It's Dina Mostavaya. She's the
Thank
founder
you.
of Madrid-based Mindset Consulting that helps tech companies and venture funds with strategic communications in the USA and Europe. Thank you, Dina, one more time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Dear audience, thank you for being here today with us. Thank you for your time, for your questions. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll publish the recording of this workshop in our Discord community. The link to the community is in a pinned message on YouTube. You can join it right now. Join it on Discord, attend our workshops, and apply for the next online teaching session that happens in a week. Our next workshop is on February the 7th, led by our Chief Strategy Officer, David Rose. The topic is Pitching Innovations, Constraints and Storytelling. We touched this topic a little bit today. And hopefully see you soon. And let's shape the future of MediaTech together.